YouTube, you requested Ardiaei in online action, and Ardiaei has been now delivered. Welcome to the Battle of Uberzis. Uberza, was something. However that's pronounced. No idea. So, I have brought the Ardiaei, and a lot of you asking it, hey, aren't they better in this patch? Yes, they are better. Are they good in this patch? No. They're still probably one of the worst factions out there. But they are better. Definitely better. In what ways are they better, you may ask? Well, there's a few things that have helped them improve, and I'll show those to you. One, Hoplites all basically took a buffing because of the way things work. Their Illyrian Noble Hoplites already had very high armor. They have even higher armor now. Good melee attack for a Hoplite, and good weapon damage. Pretty good melee defense, nothing off the charts, but overall a very good unit because of the 70 base morale, and it's only like 1,000 talents. There's a few other things that have helped the Ardiaei. Let me pause it real quick because you're missing some fun stuff. Anyway, they're I'm going to turn this off so you can see. Axe Warriors. Axe Warriors have been made to be a lot more viable, and they have Mercenary Axe Warriors. You can only bring 3. They have Illyrian Thurio Spears, which are a slightly cheaper version of what you see Macedon and the others with, which I actually kind of like the fact that they're cheaper. Slightly less useful as far as strength, but they've got just as many javelins, and they also have oh crap, what's it called? Cavalry Counter Tactics, which makes them pretty capable anti-cav units. So my army real quick, 4 Illyrian Thurio Spears, at least there should be 4, I'm only seeing 3. Right here. This one was slow for some reason, yeah. So 4 Thurio Spears, 3 Mercenary Axe Warriors, 5 Illyrian Noble Hoplites, and then I have 5 Illyrian Cavalry with heavy upgrades. Not tons and tons, but enough that it made them a little better. They still have very poor morale and pretty mediocre armor for a cav unit. But anyway, I've got all my Thurio Spears, and see, this is one of the reasons why I love Thurio Spears. I can use my javelins to help ward off cav, and in this case, I didn't bring any skirmishers, so I can lead with my Thurio Spears in order to try and goad my opponent's infantry line into an attack. And if he wants to fire at something, he can fire at them with his auxiliary Syrian archers, and I don't really care. They're not a very expensive target, and it's going to take a lot of his ammo. So again, you can already see some of my spearmen in range of his armored legionnaires, and my opponent has, looks like 6 armored legions. Yeah, so this is going to be a very brutal fight. These guys are no slouch unit. Big attack, big armor, good health and morale, very good unit. So yeah, I trade a few javelins, but then I know that I don't want to waste all my javelins on them. And I also do not want to fight the armored legionnaires with my Thurio Spears. So I'm going to charge with my Noble Hoplites, pull my Thurio Spears to the flank. So let me just kind of slow it down for a second, kind of show you. So see, Thurio Spear is going to come out here, and same thing over here. I put my cavalry here, it's going to tempt my opponent forward, and then I'm going to slip these Thurio Spears in behind and finish off his cav. And then same thing over here, I want to start an engagement with his very much superior cav, and then use 1 extra unit to maybe get in his back lines, and then support with spearmen. As soon as my hoplites get into combat, I need to get them into hoplite wall, which I'm starting to do over here. So, Illyrian Noble Hoplites. So a couple of interesting statistics. I'm going to go ahead and hit play, let you all kind of watch the overview of the battle here, and then I'll get you some close-ups here in a bit. So, Illyrian Noble Hoplites, few things to note, very important things to note actually. These guys have expert charge defense, which means that they're very good against very strong charging units. Romans don't have a particularly strong charge, but it helps them take less damage. They're also, they can encourage others. They are not a formation attack unit, which does, I guess, make them have slightly less staying power. But I don't know how I got these guys backwards, but somehow they are. In any case, yeah, they don't have as much staying power per se, but they have the ability to kind of break up and not have to fight in formation, which potentially makes them quite strong. So they have hoplite wall without being a formation attack, which is kind of an oxymoron, but that's just how they work. So yes, very cheap units. They inspire, they hold out a very long time in a fight with wall, and they have 67 defense and 115 armor. So these guys will last. So what am I doing? I've got my Illyrian Thurio Spears over here hurling javelins into the back of these armored legionnaires. So I kill a great number of them and then charge into combat because my Thurio Spears don't have a very good attack. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Leave my Thurio Spears sitting here, and I'm going to hurl javelins into the back of his armored legions. And I have cavalry free. I got into his Syrian archers, and my opponent's trying to use his general and his other archers to stop me. But yeah, look at the back charges I got going on. And even my axe warriors holding their own here against the Romans. Not doing great, but holding out, which is really all I needed from them. I just needed them to get a few kills and hold out. I'm keeping my general in reserve. My opponent did have a lot of time with his archers to work on him, but still only got about 25 kills with his archers. But that would have never happened in a previous patch, so it's actually pretty impressive how much stronger archers are. But yeah, his Syrian archers are in trouble. This is a considerable investment, and they haven't really performed all that they need to just yet. He does bring his general in, and he drops a raised banner. Keep his troops in the fight. Not a bad plan at all. It boosts his melee defense, and you can see here that I'm not winning the infantry fight. Even with him surrounded, I'm definitely not winning the infantry fight. These armored legionnaires are fighting surrounded. They'll win, most likely. So it takes a lot of work with the Ardiaei, and I see a lot of people bring a ton of slave slingers or a ton of javelin men, but then you just have to protect them. And I don't really see that being a useful thing. So that's why I didn't bring any here. They're not particularly good. They die easy, and then you have to protect them with crappy cavalry and try and chase enemy cav with spears. So I was like, why spend money on them and why take up slots with them? I'm just going to spend my money on infantry. Here comes a rear charge. It is just Illyrian cavalry, so don't expect this to be like a decisive blow. But this will slowly start to help turn things to my favor. I do the charge in diamond formation just to try and get a little extra charge bonus, and it does drop some legionnaires. Or legionaries, as you all would probably have me call them. And again, I just keep his Praetorian cav away from rear charges with my Thurio spears and my general, and I can just let this fight grind out. I've got cav in his back lines. I can run cycled charges, so see here I'm going to line up in another diamond formation. And here comes the charge into the back of these armored legions. So trying to get whatever charge I can, and I'll just keep doing this to his different units. So Axe Warriors only got 25 kills, but I've managed to take out quite a few of these armored legions. My Noble Hoplites, again, they're going to get beat, but holding out very valiantly against some pretty stiff odds. So don't expect to just come in and win an infantry fight straight up with the Ardiaei. You still got a massive challenge in front of you with them. You can see here that even with my opponent surrounded, I'm very much struggling to knock out his remaining troops. It's not an easy task. See here, he had pulled away from my Axe Warriors, so I charged him again, and then I'm going to charge him from behind once more with 2 more cav units. So I'm just going to keep working these armored legions over, and I've got more Thurio spears over here. I'm going to throw the rest of their javelins into the back of these armored legions. And see, he's trying to bring his Praetorian cav in, and he's almost going to get there, but I chase him off again. And I've got more spears over here if I need it too. So see how I'm just kind of keeping his Praetorian cav at bay? I think he could outmaneuver me, but he's a little bit scared of my men here at this point. And I'm now got enough cavalry free that I'm actually starting to have a pretty substantial effect on the morale of the armored legions. My men are quite fresh, and theirs are starting to tire out. I think the phalanx actually helps your men as far as as long as they're not moving around. I think it helps them from an exhaustion standpoint. Like it keeps them from being as exhausted. Check it out, my Axe Warriors finally routing. Not bad, 43 kills. And it helped me kind of set up the basic death of this armored legion. But impressive. I mean, this guy just took a rear charge from a lot of cav and barely lost a man. So, very tough units. Again, he's still trying to get his Praetorian cav in, and I managed to catch him with my Illyrian Thurio spears. So I'm going to start pinning his cav down. You can see my men actually do pretty good at killing cavalry. Praetorian cav's a pretty sturdy cav. And then over here, I finally break one of these units with one last rear charge. And he's only got one more Armored Legion unit here. I drive in one last fatal rear blow to those Armored Legionnaires who are now shattered. And he's got 2 more of them, though, here. But I've got my General and a couple of tattered Hoplite units. And then I'm going to interrupt their charge with my own cav charge. And so it's definitely a Pyrrhic victory. In fact, my opponent has killed more of my men than I have his men in this case. So again, Ardiaei, are they better? Absolutely they're better, because hoplites are better. And the Ardiaei already had some pretty sweet hoplites. But are they good? The answer is no. Could they be a great faction in a 2v2 where you need a lot of spears maybe to go against nomads or Parthia or something like that? Sure, they've got excellent spears, but that's all they've got. And when I say excellent spears, it doesn't mean that the sense that their spears are going to beat down everybody else's in a one-on-one fight necessarily, because they probably won't. Triarii are better spears, for instance, than a lot of these. It's just that their spears are very cost-effective, I think is the best way to say it. So anyway, let's go take a look at the roster real quick, and I'll kind of explain a little bit more to you. But yeah, you can see there my opponent killed more of my men than I did his, so that's why it's a Pyrrhic victory. So if we go in, let's take a look at the Ardiaei. So yeah, the Illyrian Noble Hoplites, great price for these guys. That expert charge defense is enormous. And with that expert charge defense, if you were going up with, say, the Ardiaei against a barbarian faction, let your guys get charged. And if at all possible, get them into Hoplite Wall as well. They'll reflect some of that damage from the charging opponent back onto them, and actually sometimes kill more of the charging enemy than they kill of your men. It's pretty impressive, actually. Then there's a few key units that the Ardiaei have, I think, that really helps them out. And again, the changes in this patch help. So Axe Warriors can actually kind of hold up the center of your line for a short time in a melee engagement. I don't know that I would rely too much on these Illyrian Raiders. These guys have pretty low health, possibly for a flanking unit. This Mercenary Celtic Warrior, however, has good melee defense. Again, fairly low armor and morale, but it's a great flanking unit because it has a nice sturdy charge and a lot of weapon damage. Some other units of note, Illyrian Thurio Spears. These guys have cavalry counter tactics square and a lot of javelins, and they're at a fantastic price. This is a value unit in this patch. Great unit. Illyrian Marines, I don't know if they have javelins or not. I'd like to know, so I'm going to bring them to the battlefield real quick, because then it might explain. But I mean, that's some sturdy attack on those Marines for a unit of that price, especially a spear unit. When it comes to skirmishers, again, bring the skirmishers at your own risk. None of them are very good. But then again, a rush build's not going to work against everything. So again, I brought a rush build against an infantry faction, knowing that I probably wouldn't have to worry about skirmishing as much. Bring these guys against an eastern faction or someone who can do some serious skirmishing, and you might find yourself in trouble. Anyway, let's start this battle real quick just so I can see the Illyrian Marines. I want to see if they have javelins. If they do, they're pretty expensive, but potentially a very good unit if they come with javelins. So let's take a look. They do have javelins. Wow. I don't know how many, so if you know, let me know. Actually, we could find out real quick. Let's just start the battle, fast forward. We'll be able to tell if they throw a single javelin. I'll just pull them. Yeah, look, you can already see. They're going to have a bunch of javelins, and you can see their range right here in the red. They've got good range, so wow. This is actually a much better unit than a Thurio Spear as far as attack goes. This is a dangerous unit. They do not have cavalry counter tactics, but these guys are a dangerous unit. They've got a good melee defense, pretty good armor, good health, relatively quick moving. That's a nice unit right here. So I would say that's another unit that's going to give the Ardiaei a nice boost. And in campaign, these guys are not going to be bad at all with these type of units. So yeah, that's impressive. Get a lot of javelins. I wonder if their reload speed's any good. Let's see if they get another volley off. Yeah, check it out. They can get 2 volleys off. Didn't kill a single Praetorian Guard, of course, because I'm throwing at the front of them. But yeah, anyway, interesting units. So, Ardiaei, again, just a quick Whoops, I quit out of the whole game. Anyway, just a quick recap. We'll switch back over. Yeah, so enjoy the black screen. I accidentally hit quit in the game. Good units, but they're, I say good units, sorry, cost-effective units. From a spear standpoint, not a strong faction, but a better faction than they were. HeirofCarthage signing off the black screen.